if Rhaenyra succeeds in war will follow.
I wish to propose a marriage. My daughter and heir.
Prepare Aegon to rule.
A royal wedding. I hope to herald in a second age of dragons.
Rhaenyra's succession will be challenged. Knives will come out.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This will be my House of the Dragon Episode 5 trailer video. We have a wedding. Weddings in Game of Thrones, wedding in House of the Dragon, doesn't seem like they work out too well because there's a giant fight that breaks out. You think of the red wedding, you think of the purple wedding. Joffrey and Robb Stark would be proud. There's a whole bunch of Easter eggs here, so I'll explain what's going on. If you're brand new to the channel, I'm doing videos for all the episodes. Be sure to subscribe to get everything. We're also doing a giveaway for HBO Max subscriptions. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber and just post all your theories about what happens in the trailer in the video. I'll name a new winner at the end of this too. It seems like Corlys Velaryon ships are sailing to the Red Keep for this wedding banquet that they're having. Now, she's wearing the wedding dress in all these scenes in the Red Keep with this giant feast, so it's hard to tell if they've already had the ceremony or if the ceremony itself is happening somewhere separately. But like right after this, it seems like Viserys actually comes to Driftmark to make the marriage proposal to Corlys Velaryon, to mend fences, so to speak, like he's coming to him. You remember that he just fired Otto Hightower as Hand of the King in last week's episode, and it seems like it's been a relatively short time jump, like not a lot of time goes by since the end of episode 4. And it seems like Lionel Strong is the new Hand, the one that's standing next to him here with the longer hair. You remember he's the person in episode 3 that was literally advising him to have a marriage between Rhaenyra and Corlys Velaryon's son. So that would explain why he's here for this event. You also notice Rhaenyra is walking in behind him too. Next big scene, and most of the scenes in the trailer are at the actual wedding banquet, with everybody just celebrating the actual match. The dwarf here might actually be a version of Mushroom from the books. So in the Fire and Blood book, the story of the Targaryen family is told across many different eras. The Dance of the Dragons is just part of that. But the cool Easter egg here is that a lot of the actual story comes from second and third hand accounts. One of them is from Mushroom, who's telling them the story of all these Targaryens. Because of his disability, the way he looked, he just wound up hearing a lot of other secrets. People's tongues were way looser around him because they didn't take him seriously. Kind of what was happening in episode 3 with Lionel Strong's other son, the disabled one, Larys the Clubfoot. Remember, he sat down with all the women to hear all the gossip.
If you believe the rumors.
I fear the gods did not make me for hunting. Might I sit with you, my ladies?
Give me all the tea you have, as they started spilling all their gossip. And it's just easier for him to pick up those things with people not thinking about him as a big threat because of his disability. So it sounds like his father and he himself used that to his advantage. Because the giant fight that breaks out here in the middle of this seems like it has something to do with what Rhaenyra did during episode 4, like all the drama and the spice from episode 4. So I think it's pretty easy to assume that through a number of different means, secrets about what actually happened start to get out, and that's what causes this giant brawl. Now, because we make all the Game of Thrones wedding jokes like the red wedding with Robb Stark, the purple wedding with Joffrey, I don't know that it gets quite to that point, but it looks like Criston Cole is going to lay waste to at least somebody during this trailer, and this actually looks like Joffrey Lonmouth, who's actually the rumored lover of Laenor Velaryon, the person that Rhaenyra is supposed to marry. One of the big things about Laenor Velaryon, obviously he rides Sea Smoke, that white dragon that we saw in episode 3, which is really cool, but in the books it's rumored that he's actually gay and his lover is Joffrey Lonmouth. So there's just an added layer of drama to everything that's going on with all the characters. Like you have all the drama of episode 4, but on top of that, now Rhaenyra is kind of pushed into this marriage, forced to marry Laenor Velaryon, even though he seems like a pretty decent guy. Obviously, if he's gay, it's going to be a really weird match for the two of them. And it kind of sounds like he doesn't want to get married that much to her either, or to anyone else for that matter, but his father, Corlys Velaryon, is so ambitious, he's been planning all these other matches for him, just like Rhaenyra's father, Viserys, has been doing for her. The other joke you can make about that too is when Viserys was arguing with Rhaenyra about her being born female and how the rules were so much more stricter about her behavior. Technically, if you were a highborn person in a really powerful family like the Velaryons or obviously the Targaryens, the royal family, you basically had no choice in who you eventually got married to. So most of the time, marriage amongst those types of people was more of like a contract, like your business partners rather than lovers, which is why infidelity in those situations is such a common thing. You notice the wedding banquet is taking place in the Red Keep Iron Throne room. The Iron Throne is right behind them. The banners behind their houses to symbolize their match. For the most part, it seems like all of the most powerful houses in the realm are here at the wedding banquet. In the trailer, when Viserys is giving his toast, he says, "I hope to herald in a second age of the dragons," and you see the 2 new dragons. One of them is Sea Smoke, not a new dragon because we saw him in episode 3. But the one on the right is actually Melee's Princess Rhaenys dragon. She's another female dragon. Her nickname is the Red Queen. And before Rhaenys claimed Melee's when she was young, she was ridden by Viserys' mother, Alyssa Targaryen, who they talked about during episode 4 as well, when Viserys was joking in the Godswood about how his and Daemon's mother loved Daemon more because he was such a rogue, kind of like she was. And how, like Daemon, their mother cared not for ceremony or tradition. In fact, there's a funny story about Viserys and his mother after he was born. A couple months after he was born, like when he was still like a really tiny little baby, his mother strapped him in like a tiny little baby pouch and took him dragon riding on Melee's, much to the dismay of all the maesters. Even though dragon bonding when children are born is a very big thing, like they put dragon eggs in their bassinets, usually the maesters would advise the Targaryen family to wait until children were like a little bit older before letting them ride on dragons, just because it is actually kind of dangerous. But just as a way to show you how much of Daemon and Viserys' mother was a rogue and didn't really care about any of that stuff, she like literally took this tiny little baby and took him dragon riding for a little while. Big reminder too, like we make all the twincest jokes, all the sister wiving in the Targaryen family, but Viserys and Daemon's mother were brother and sister. They weren't actually twins, so you can't technically call it twincest, but it was a happy marriage between the two of them. So it's just a way to show you that like a lot of the Targaryens didn't think that it was weird that they would get it on with the people that they were closely related to. In the case of their mother and father, very closely related. On the flip side of that though, on the negative side, you can blame a lot of the declining health, like the genetic issues that Viserys seems like he has, on his parents being so closely related. As people file in the wedding banquet, you see the Lannisters walk in. Criston Cole meeting with Alicent Hightower. Like I said, a lot of the drama of what happened in episode 4 with Criston Cole and Rhaenyra probably winds up coming out, and that's probably why everybody goes crazy at the wedding banquet. It'll be interesting to see who sets the match on this tinderbox here. Like, who is the person that leaks the information? Remember, Larys the Clubfoot is like the really big gossip, but like there are other people who found out about what happened, or might know what happened, or think that they know, and are just telling rumors at the actual banquet. The whole idea is that even if you aren't as smart as someone like Tyrion in getting information, like even if you don't know all the secrets in the realm, there are a lot of rumors that get passed around about characters, particularly about Rhaenyra. So even if everybody doesn't get all the information, everybody does wind up talking about it eventually. When the actual fighting breaks out in the wedding scene, like I said, Criston Cole attacking Joffrey Lonmouth here. Remember, I explained his relationship with Laenor Velaryon. The person here, this is Harwin Strong punching one of the guards. This is Daemon in the Vale with his wife Rhea Royce after being banished there by Viserys. But you also notice that he's there at the wedding banquet, so they do allow him back for the wedding banquet. It looks like Viserys' health is getting even worse, but remember, not a lot of time has gone by since the end of last week's episode, so he is probably tripped up on Milk of the Poppy right now. We'll see how many more digits he winds up losing by next week's episode. I don't know exactly how many time jumps we're going to see before they actually transition to the older versions of the characters. I believe that happens in episode 6. Like, this might be the last episode with Millie Alcock, the younger version of Rhaenyra, the younger version of Alicent as well. Then you hear Otto Hightower on his way out of the Red Keep, like he's been banished, so he's obviously leaving the Red Keep, telling Alicent that she needs to prepare Aegon II to rule. Like, he's obviously still got this plan in his head about Aegon sitting on the Iron Throne, despite currently Rhaenyra being the heir. So just because he's down and out doesn't mean that he's completely quit the Game of Thrones, so to speak. And you see Rhea Royce, his wife, fall on her horse. Like, her horse literally spills over on top of her, so I don't know how she survives this. If she does wind up dying, it would be hugely advantageous to Daemon, like he's been asking for that to happen for the last several episodes. I think the bigger question would be, if she does wind up dying in this accident, is it just a coincidence, or did Daemon have something to do with it? Like, did he orchestrate her death? Because if you actually look what's going on in this scene, when her horse gets spooked, like it gets spooked by someone wearing a gray cloak that looks an awful lot like Daemon's, so it looks like Daemon did orchestrate her death. And then even though they don't directly address it in the trailer, there's the whole idea of the Moon Tea. Did Rhaenyra take the Moon Tea? Is she now pregnant with Criston Cole's child? I talked a little bit about that during my episode 4 video, because there's a whole rumor in the books that people call the Strong Boys. Her children are brunettes, even though when she's married to Laenor, they both have silver hair, so you would expect their children to also have silver hair. But because the time jump between episode 4 and episode 5 is so short, I don't think that she would have time to actually be showing unless they have like a time jump at the end of the episode. So we might not find out what's going on with her potential secret children or child with Criston Cole until episode 6. But if Rhaenyra really is still pregnant at the end of episode 4 and she didn't take the moon tea, the actual wedding with Laenor Velaryon, like the timing of it, would work out so that her first child would seem like it's Laenor Velaryon's, or they could say that it's Laenor Velaryon's. The whole idea, as her father explained to her in episode 4, though, was that it doesn't really matter what actually happened, it just matters what the realm perceives to have happened. So even if she did take the moon tea, Laird Clubfoot and the other gossipers in the realm could be spreading these rumors about Criston Cole being the baby's father, and it would still stick, and that would be what people believe. But everyone post all your theories in the comments below. Just always exciting when you have a wedding on Game of Thrones, obviously now House of the Dragon, no different. My full episode 5 video will post next week after it releases. I have a couple bonus videos planned this week too. If you have any questions about what happened in the episode or any of the characters, just write it below in the comments and I'll try to add those to my bonus videos too. There was a bunch of other announcements too from Marvel and Star Wars stuff. I'll try to do videos for those as well. Congratulations, Shanna and Dee, you're the giveaway winner from my last big House of the Dragon video. Please email me on the About page of my channel so I can get your contact details. Everyone click here for my full House of the Dragon episode 4 video, and click here for all my other House of the Dragon videos. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.